Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, the channel in which I guest people. We talk about a lot of different things, and today's topic is going to be a diversity of topics. So stick around, and first of all, let our guest introduce himself.
Hello guys, Aymen. I'm 26-year-old and I love English. As you can see, I speak English with Lotfi here. We like to talk about different things and I guess today I'm the guest, so I would like a very good welcoming from you.
Thank you. That's a nice introduction. Actually, it's more than this, but he sometimes likes to be a little bit mysterious. That's something about him. So Ayman, tell us, like, what's your background like? I mean, why do you like English? Like, what's the purpose or what's the reason behind you? I mean, you have a very wonderful English. Like, what is it all about? Like, how did you get to this level?
Okay, so first of all, I think the point behind me learning English was basically watching movies. Most of you will agree that watching movies or series or listening to songs nowadays is the best way to improve your English or even to learn English
Right.
from the basics. So I remember myself being a child, watching channels. I used to watch a lot of movies. I used to catch the language. It was really fun. Just by listening to the words, it was amazing. And then I just gave myself a chance to learn it and to dive more into this beautiful language.
So basically, you're saying that listening played a major role, like contributing into you learning English, right?
It did, it did. If it wasn't for listening, I wouldn't have had this English. Maybe writing. I was good at writing, but listening does most of the job, basically.
Actually, I heard really long ago, I heard like somebody talking about it wasn't about learning a language, but he was talking about learning a skill. And
Okay.
guess what? He mentioned listening multiple times, and he was like, listening is the key to learning anything.
It is.
Other than
It is.
languages, I mean, look, a skill, like you'd be like, what am I going to do with listening? But it's listening to people talking about the skill you want to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and learning from their experiences will help you. Now we're talking about languages.
Mm.
Sometimes, like for example, language is something that goes to your ear,
Of
to your
course.
mind, and then comes out.
Of
You
course.
know that about input and output. So
Mm.
if you don't have much input, how can you come up with something out? Doesn't make sense. You have to store.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can even, for example, someone who decides to go to England. This is like just a small example.
Right.
Someone who has no information about English whatsoever. So let's pretend this person has a level of A1, which is a
Right.
beginner. So he goes to England, he wants to start a new life, and he doesn't know the language. How will he know or learn the language? Of course, by listening to natives.
Right.
It's the
Makes sense.
intonation, and he will know that, okay, may I have a cup of coffee? It means he wants coffee. So he
Right.
starts learning by listening, not by writing.
Exactly. So it all comes down to learning by your ears, not by your eyes or whatever you do. So because we both speak English, also, side note, we also both English teachers, so we teach English. We decided we are here to talk about different topics. And I don't know, he has like made up his decision to talk about a certain, I don't know what is he thinking about, and he doesn't know what I'm thinking about. So I'm gonna strike questions and he's gonna do the same to have some kind of diverse conversation. So my question to you, Mr. Ayman,
Okay.
is: do you think women are like these modern day and age? Are women stealing jobs from men? Whatever your answer is gonna be, you have to tell me why you believe what you believe.
So that's a very interesting
It is.
question. Well, before I start, I don't want to be biased, so I'm
Sure.
neither with men nor with women, just to be fair, okay?
He's on offense.
If a man deserves a place, the man does deserve this place. And if a woman does, then who am I to interfere? So basically, sometimes, and according to what I have seen and witnessed, especially in some of the communities, they do prefer women than men for some reasons. Sometimes I see that a person or a man who studies hard and has a very good degree, he applies and then he gets refused for
Right.
some reasons God knows what. In other hands, there's this woman who doesn't have the same degree, maybe lower degree, and she gets the job.
Right.
This doesn't happen in all of the communities, some of them between brackets, okay? So I don't think this is fair, and I think yes, in this case a woman did steal this man's job. And it could be the opposite.
Is it her fault?
It's not her fault. No.
She's not to blame.
No, she's just a human being who wants to work and have a fair life.
So why do you think this is happening? Like, what are the top reasons or the top points that are somehow helping this to be the case?
I mean, it depends on the managers. Sometimes just the managers have this mentality that they must hire women because women are a good face for their company or for their job. Maybe men will not do the same job as women. Maybe because women are poorly paid.
They accept lower wages because we have a lot of responsibilities than women. So
basically, we are demanding. We demand more because we think that we deserve more because of our energy. So when we work something, we demand a rate that we think it's acceptable.
But we also have more responsibilities.
Of course, of
if
course.
she's married,
of course,
the husband is taking care of her.
Yes, exactly.
Your wife is not going to take care of you.
No. Well, I think it's a philosophical question nowadays.
It is.
Well, that was nice. Thank you. Okay, are you ready for my question?
Okay, I am, yeah.
Okay. So you know that lately technology has flourished, right?
It has.
And one of the main technological aspects that has been flourishing, if I may say, is AI. Do you know AI?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe our viewers or listeners will not or don't know what does it mean AI. Could you elaborate?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So AI is an acronym for artificial intelligence, which means there's like this thing like that replaces a human being. So whatever you do, there's something else that is digital that does it better than you. In other words, AI is something that it can does the job for you just by a click.
That's it.
Yeah.
Very good. So my question is, Mr. Lotfi,
Right.
as a person who is a worker, you work, right?
Right.
You're a teacher. Do you think using AI to do your job is moral or immoral?
It depends. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about this, but I do sometimes use AI to do certain tasks for me.
Same.
But I do it not with the intent not because I'm lazy, because before AI existed, I knew about AI, I used to do my own job myself, right? I used to help people a lot of time. That doesn't mean I'm lazy. It only means that I'm using it into my favor. There are certain things that I would never ask AI to do for me, but I think it's there for me to use it, okay? But at the same time, I won't fully depend on it, and then I will later become lazy. So I think it's moral if you know what you're doing. But if you are a stupid person, and for example, if you are a student and then a teacher asks you to do something, and you just ask AI to do it for you, I think it's immoral.
Yes, exactly. This is what I was going to ask you. Nowadays, even students are using AI
Exactly.
for their homeworks, for their in activities in general. Okay,
Right.
so they don't rely on themselves, but instead they use AI. Everything is easier nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
So the point is that it's immoral.
It is immoral.
So it makes the learner lazier, and then it makes them lose confidence in
And as a
themselves.
teacher, it deceives us. We don't know.
It
We don't
deceives
know the
us.
truth.
Yeah, it deceives us. Sometimes we know that this learner is good and they provide us with good articles, but are they the one who did the article? We
exactly.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. AI is a very good thing. It's a very good thing and it's a very bad thing. What do you think, Mr. Lotfi? Do you think AI will make people lose their jobs in the future?
I think so. I'm afraid that it's going to happen. Maybe there is like some benefits coming along with it. For example, you see AI everywhere. That means now you have to buckle up. You have to do more or get better at what we do to convince the employer to hire you and not rely on the AI.
Okay.
Do you get it?
So let's pretend, since you're talking about employers, okay, let's pretend you're a very successful manager of a very famous company.
Hopefully.
Yes, it may be in the
Yeah.
future. You have got more than 30,000 employees, which is a very high number,
It is.
okay?
Scary number.
It is a scary number, and it's, somehow it's making your budget lower and lower, okay?
All
Because
right.
of the high salaries. And now someone comes to you and says, Mr. Lotfi, I have the best solution for you. AI will replace more than 20,000 employees.
I see what you're doing.
Now, as a manager, you have a responsibility towards these employees. Okay, they have families.
Right.
Would you stop them from having their career and stop their salaries and kick them out of their jobs and let AI replace them? Or would you just not think about AI and let the company run as it is the same? What do you think?
That's a tough question and it's a tricky one. But I would say you cannot really answer that question if you're not in that situation yet. But I'm gonna pretend that I am in that position.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, well, I have to be honest, right?
Okay, yeah, honesty
So
is the key.
I'm gonna use that, but in a 50-50% kind of like operation. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if the suggestion is to fire 100 employees
Mm-hmm.
and replace them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it just to 50%, 50 of them.
Okay, so the other 50 are
Because
the unluckiest, I guess.
yeah, because what you're saying, what you're doing here is your this will contribute into my success. But if I was doing well, I would never think about it.
Okay.
But if I was doing shit, I would consider that option. Yeah, I'm just trying to be genuine here, right? So I'm
Of
not.
course,
Yeah, yeah,
yes, being genuine is necessary by
yeah.
all means.
Of course.
Well, that was all about my topic. I mean, AI is a very good thing, as I said before, and it's very dangerous. It could replace you anytime, so buckle up, guys, and get ready for the challenge.
But I have another and last question for you.
All right.
Right.
That's a bonus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're gonna wrap up with this question.
Yeah.
So, but I want you to tell me, do you think, for example, because we live in a Muslim country
Mm-hmm.
and we are Muslims,
Yes.
and I want you to answer me with you have to be honest as much as possible about this. Like, you have to be really honest.
Okay, 100%.
So what's your take on, like, you're not married, but you will be. What's your take on girls who don't wear the hijab? Okay, so the hijab, for those who don't know, it's like a headscarf, but it's what Muslim women use to cover their bodies. Okay, we believe that it's mandatory for women to do it.
It is.
But we have a lot of women who don't wear the hijab, and there's some divided opinion. So what's your take on this? How do you see these women?
I mean, as a Muslim guy, as you said, and we are all Muslims, of course, it's not acceptable by God and by Islam itself. But, even though it's not, most women decide that wearing hijab is not really necessary in their lives. So, I don't know. Who am I to say whether they should or they shouldn't? For me, it's a must. It's a must. Like we should pray our times on time. It's a must that women should wear her hijab. But as you know, people they think that being civilized means that we do whatever we want and whenever we want, which is a very, very wrong idea about civilization, by the way. People think being civilized, it means being free. No, that doesn't make you free. Being civilized means you think better.
Right.
You improve your way of thinking. You develop your country. You be a very good asset to the country. This is what being civilized means.
So going back to my question, do you think it's easy for women who are not wearing the hijab to decide to wear the hijab? Do you think it's an easy decision?
I think it is. I mean, it's not something that is very hard. It's just, you are covering yourself, which is something
But I think it's a difficult
I don't know.
transition.
I mean, I guess we have to ask the viewers what they think. Maybe the
Yeah.
girls who are with us. By the way, we mean no offense to anybody. We are just speaking hypothetically.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
we are not targeting anybody, so it's just a question. And if you feel free to, elaborate and talk even more about it in the comments, we would like to see or even interact with you in the comments.
Exactly. So that's it for us today, and I think this is what we wanted to talk about.
How were my questions,
They
Lotfi?
were interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll try to make better questions next time.
yeah. By the way, this channel is supposed to teach people English, so I think I'm not going to. I told you from the very first video that I'm not going to rely on Arabic to teach people English. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea is to speak English. I want you to be exposed to English, to hear as much English as possible, to get it to your mind. And I'm not even going to translate in Arabic. All you gotta
Mm-mm.
do is listen, let it come in,
Mm-hmm.
and let it, marinate in your heads. And the day will come where you're going to be able to speak the same way we are doing, or better, maybe.
Exactly, Lotfi. This takes us to the first question, or the first topic
Yeah,
that
we
we talked
did
about.
talk about
Yeah, listening.
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 Exactly.
Okay, you have to listen. Just it's all about the intuition. I'll
Mhm.
I'll tell you a brief story before we finish.
Right.
I can speak both American and British. Okay, this is something that I have acquired in my university years. I had this teacher who used to speak very, very, very good British, and I was just influenced just by listening to this teacher. I had just American accent. It wasn't that good,
Right.
but eventually I kept listening and listening, and that led me to discover and to go search what is this beautiful accent? Why can't I speak like he does? So I did, and I did try to develop myself, and I'm still trying to develop myself. So I think you can do it. It's not really that hard. Nothing is hard, Mr. Lutfi, is it?
Nothing, nothing, nothing. I join you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I know who you're talking about, and really a great inspiration for all students coming up.
Yeah,
And we try to do the same.
yeah,
You told me the other day, and it happened to me the same, that students come to you and they love you,
of
and
course.
because they love you, they will try to be like you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and that's a good influence you have on your learners. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to do the same in this video. We are Algerians.
Okay, yeah.
Our first language and second is not English. Now we could speak. That's why we were talking about different topics. We could talk about a lot of things in English. We want you to do the same, and the only way to do it is listen and try to imitate more. All right? So, ciao for now, and hit us with your beautiful comments. Tell us what you want us to talk about later. Thank you.
Thank you.